Hi, my name is Ramon and welcome to another episode of our video series. Today we want to focus on the sewing machine needle itself. That is to say, what are the different parts of the needle and what is their function? Let's take a look at this together. So first and foremost, the function of the needle is to penetrate the fabric and to insert a sewing thread. Now this creates a seam that joins different parts of the garment or fabrics together. In our animation here, we can show you how the needle works inside of the machine. Now let's have a closer look at the needle. In general, it consists of two parts. We have a clamping part and we have a working part. The function of the clamping part is to hold the needle inside of the machine, whereas the working part is there to penetrate the fabric and to account for the stitch formation itself. There are several components at both the clamping and the working parts, which I will now explain in more detail. So at the rear of the needle, we have the shank. The shank extends from the butt of the needle towards the cone. The shank is the part of the needle that is inserted into the needle bar of the sewing machine, and this is secured with the machine with a screw. So for this reason, it is very important that the shank diameter of the needle matches with the needle bar of the machine. And usually the needle manufacturer as well as the needle size are marked on the needle shank. Following the shank, we have the cone. The cone is a conical shape and it's actually the transition from the clamping part of the needle to the working part. A smooth transition is very important for maximum needle stability. The part from the cone to the beginning of the needle eye is called a needle blade. The needle blade is a component of a working part of the needle that penetrates into the fabric itself. And the diameter of the blade varies according to the needle size itself. In the blade, there is a groove called the long groove. The function of this groove is to protect the sewing thread when the needle penetrates the fabric. Needles for lock stitch machines have only one groove, which always faces the threading direction. Needles for chain stitch machines, however, have an additional groove on the opposite side of the needle and it faces the hook. Again, this is also to protect the needle thread from excessive friction in the fabric. In front of the needle eye, there is another recess called the scarf. The scarf permits an unobstructed movement of the looper or the hook during the stitch formation and enables a secure loop pickup and stitch formation. And now we come to the front end of the needle, where you will find the needle eye and the needle point. The eye is a little hole through which the sewing thread is threaded. For the sewing process itself, it is essential that the thread runs smoothly through the eye, which means that the thread size always has to be adjusted for the size of the needle eye itself. And finally, there is the needle point. This is the first element of the needle to actually penetrate the fabric and to open or displace the fabric material so that the rest of the needle and the thread can follow. So depending on the type of fabrics you are working with, there are different point styles to use. We recommend, to prevent material damages and to ensure the best sewing result, to always use the correct point styles for the correct application. And very important, to ensure that the needle point is in perfect working condition. Now that you know all about the different parts of the sewing machine needle and their function, I hope that you really enjoyed this video. See you in our next episode where we'll give you more insights into the world of needles. I hope to see you there.